Kara, thanks.
If you went through a walk through Sugar House Park, you needed your rain boots too. A temporary closure starting this Saturday for cars. Once again, traffic will not be allowed through the park for at least a week. And during the closure, city officials will release water into that detention basin at that park to maintain runoff capacity ahead of peak runoff season. We're not there yet, folks. You can still walk in the park if you have any reservations for the fields or the pavilions. That'll be allowed. No cars, though. Okay, so lots of water, as you see right there in that video at Sugar House Park. Some people concerned about that, but hydrologists say it's really nothing to worry about. Yeah, they say, what's with all the water? Well, it's supposed to be there. It was designed to hold that water.
Sugar House Park it's what's called a detention basin. So it's designed to hold stormwater runoff in a safe, as safe as possible, and then gradually release it over time to protect people and property downstream of that area.
So the water is intentional. Hydrologists also want to remind everyone that spring is just getting started, so it's really important to be safe around those rivers because they're running high and they're running fast. Yeah, stick with KSL. We will continue to monitor flood conditions in your area. Go to KSL
in Grantsville.
We have team coverage for you tonight. Our reporters covering everything from flood watch to drought watch tonight. Going to start things off, though, with Kristen Van Dyke tracking the latest on this storm rolling on through. Hey, Kristen.
Hi there. Yeah, so we had some
KSL-5 News.
Yeah, we hope that preparation pays off, too.
Yep.
Most of the low elevation snowpack has melted off along the Wasatch Front during the last 2 weeks, but there's still a record-breaking amount of mid and high elevation snowpack to still come down.
Yeah, news specialist Jed Bowles spoke with a hydrologist who got a first-hand look at that snowpack today. Jed?
Yeah, Mike, we're here along City Creek in Memory Grove Park, where the water is running high and fast, and the catch basin is full and certainly doing its job right now. We caught up with Brian McInerney earlier when it was storming. He's a retired National Weather Service hydrologist with more than 3 decades of experience. This spring, he's working for Salt Lake City to help them understand the snowpack during this record-breaking year. Yesterday, McInerney went up City Creek. Today, he snowshoed up to 6,000 feet in Red Butte Canyon. He discovered that the low elevation snowpack on both the south and north-facing slopes melted off simultaneously during the recent warm-up. Led to high flows in Emigration Creek, which flooded due to a blockage in Wasatch Hollow last week.
Since that time, we've had almost an optimal weather scenario where we've warmed for 3 days, then it's gotten cold, it froze up the snowpack, then we warmed again, we've gotten it cold again.
That's good news because McInerney tells me the mid-elevation snowpack in those drainages is about 5 times what it normally is this time of year. It remains to be seen whether that volume of snow will run off without any flooding. Coming up at 6:30, McInerney talks to me about the impact of today's rain on the stream flows and what future storms may have on stream flows that are still coming down out of the mountains. For Live at 5, I'm Jed Bowles.
All right, Jed, thank you. A construction worker.
New at 6, kayaking City Creek. Hear from a man who's taken full advantage of the high water. Plus, preparing for when news breaks.
Residents are being asked to pay attention to their hillsides.
KSL is on the scene.
Sandbags that line the entire parking lot.
Stay with KSL-TV and radio.
Fill them about 3/4 of the way.
KSL, your breaking news leaders.
Stay in court.
What's the condition of the snowpack that's piled above Salt Lake City? A hydrologist snowshoed up there to take a look and shares his observations straight ahead.
You're watching KSL News at 6.
Most of the low elevation snowpack has melted off along the Wasatch Front, but there is still mid and high amounts of elevation snow. In fact, record amounts of it.
Yeah, it is. News specialist Jed Bowles spoke with a hydrologist who got a first-hand look at that snowpack today.
Here along City Creek in Memory Grove, the water is running high and fast, and the catch basin is doing its job. We caught up with a hydrologist who got a first-hand look at the very impressive mid-elevation snowpack.
My job as the hydrologist is to go look up in the mountains and to see what kind of snowpack we have.
Brian McInerney is a retired National Weather Service hydrologist with more than 3 decades of experience. This spring, he's working for Salt Lake City to help them understand the snowpack this record-breaking year.
Where is it located? How big is it? Is it ready to melt?
Yesterday, McInerney went up City Creek. Today, he snowshoed up to 6,000 feet in Red Butte Canyon and discovered the low-elevation snowpack on both the south and north-facing slopes melted off during the recent warm-up. That warming led to high flows in Emigration Creek last week, which flooded due to a blockage in Wasatch Hollow.
Since that time, we've had almost an optimal weather scenario where we've warmed for 3 days, then it's gotten cold, it froze up the snowpack, then we warmed again, we've gotten it cold again.
Good news, because McInerney says the mid-elevation snowpack in those drainages is about 5 times normal. But can that run off without flooding?
It depends how it's going to come down. Is it going to melt quickly? Is it going to melt from all elevations all at once? I don't think so, because right now our weather scenario is optimal.
What about impacts from today's rain?
Flows will be high, really, through any of the major drainages in this area. But as far as major flooding, we don't see that right now.
It's been a really special season for us.
Zach Carter took a quick ride in the creek, an adventure for only the most experienced paddlers.
It was bouncy. There's lots of rocks on the bottom and stuff, but it's just special to be able to boat in your neighborhood like that.
The hydrologist likes what the cooling has done for the snowpack so far, but he points out we still have more than a month of runoff to go. For KSL-5 News, I'm Jed Bowl. I hope I never have to kayak in my neighborhood.
That was one way to experience the high water flow, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Immigration Canyon.
When news breaks
The river is expected to rise.
and the waters rise,
Flood advisory in place.
KSL is there
You can hear that water, it is raging.
on Flood Watch.
It may seem scary.
Stay informed on air and online on KSL Today.